The internet is a talking, honey. And I got several people that can vouch this, okay? They are saying, Bart, don't you know the audio that we heard of Bart? Bart, oh my God, how could you, Bart? Did you unalive him, Bart? Talking about Nolan on the boat. Yes, we heard what we heard. And you know why we heard what we heard? Because God allowed it, God made it available. Well, let me tell you, these white boys and their parents and the mega and the Mississippi, they all have been working together. I'm talking about millionaire and big billionaires trying to protect these white boys to get away with unaliving a black boy, Nolan Wells. But God has intervened and he made it so fit that we heard the audio. Mind you, these white boys and girls did not know they were even being recorded. They did not know. They were just shocked out that Nolan was dead and not responsive, and they were all there. It was Wyatt there. It was who else? Will was there. I heard somebody say Will. There was Bart there, honey, Warren there, all the prime time white boys, they were there. So people are saying that Bart and Katie was a thing. Okay. Now, do you guys believe that? Press 2 if you guys believe it. Press 5 if you feel like, you know what, I don't know about that. I need to see some more. I need to hear some more. So they are saying that that is a motive why Bart was so jealous and started a conflict with Nolan. Now, we know for sure that Nolan had a conflict with one of the boys. I thought it was Wyatt. Now, people are starting to say it might have been Bart because the audio came out. God intervened, baby. I don't care what none of y'all said. None of us was expecting that audio to come out. The white folks, Mississippi, was trying to protect anything that would incriminate the white boys. But when God intervened, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if you're a millionaire. I don't care if you're a MAGA. I don't care if you the president, close best friend. I don't care if you the DA examiner. God can move all that. And he did that, didn't he? It's by the grace of God that we heard that. Really, when you look at it, it's by the grace of God that we found that out. Now we know we have to use our common sense. We cannot be ignorant and dumb and act like we didn't hear what we heard. Ain't no going back. So people are on social media, they're pushing together, and I want to know y'all thoughts are. All right. So before I go on, honey, I got something to say, and then I want to put up some audio. And I want you guys to hear what people are saying around social media. I do have my girl here, Tamala, in the back, that's going to be joining us shortly. But honey, I need y'all to look at me. And listen, at the screen, if you can't see me, hear me out. Because when I tell you, I've been sitting here for about 4 hours now, honey, just staring at this laptop, and my hands still get to shaking, y'all. Not because I'm scared, because I'm pissed. Who else is pissed out there? Press 5 if you pissed. I am pissed. It was right there, y'all. Right there. The whole time. And we couldn't see it because they was throwing so much dust in our eyes. We was choking on lies. Woo! Nolan Wells, sweet baby. They didn't just kill him. They killed him over a girl. That's what I'm hearing. This Katie girl. Bart, honey, Bart, the girl he left behind when he went off to Wyoming to put football and get his little ESPN sponsorship. Because I don't know if y'all know, but Bart and Nolan was on the football team at the same time in high school, and Bart's supposed to be this promising football star. And y'all know how they get with the promising football star, right? These football stars, they can do no wrong. So the girl that when he came back to Ocean Springs for the 4th of July was supposed to be his. Only Nolan didn't get that memo. Or maybe he did, and maybe Nolan didn't give a care. And that girl was what got him killed. That is what people are saying. That's what got that baby thrown overboard like he was trash. Do you hear what I'm saying? Emmett Till all over again. And see, they tried to hide it. They tried to delete the picture of Katie and Bart all hugged up, looking all comfy. But every time, listen, everything lasts forever on the internet, baby. But remember when Ashley Cole told Bart and Wyatt to scrub everything off the internet? And they did, but I guess it's a few photos they forgot to scrub. But my queen's been saying Katie's brother had to get her, make sure she was safe. Now we know why. Now we know why Katie ain't been talking. Now we know why she hiding. Because she was the match that lit the whole fire. One of my queens said it. Katie had to have done that on purpose. Ain't no way. And another person said, I knew a girl had something to do with this shit. That's why they took his phone. They took his phone because they didn't want nobody to see what was on it. The text messages, the pictures, the proof that Katie was choosing Nolan over Bart. My goodness. Now, do y'all believe that's true? Press 3 if y'all believe it's true. Press 7 if you feel you need some more convincing. Okay. Now, let me walk you through this because I need you to see it how I see it. Javon, whatever his mom named him, that's what people are talking about. He gave an interview. And in that interview, he said the last time he saw Nolan was around 3 o'clock. And he said, and I quote, because I wrote this down, honey, he dabbled Nolan up. Remember, he said he dapped Nolan up and made a slick comment about the girl he was with. A slick comment while Katie was sitting right there. Now, what kind of slick comment you making about a girl while she's sitting right there? Unless the slick comment was, yo, that's Bart's girl. What you doing with Bart's girl? And then Warren said the same thing. He said he saw Nolan at 3 o'clock cradling a girl in his arms. Cradling? He said Katie. And then Warren said, this is the part that made me just stop breathing. He looked at Nolan and said, dude, you crazy. Dude, you crazy. Now, why would you say that? Why would you look a boy holding a girl and call him crazy? Unless that girl was forbidden fruit. Unless that girl belonged to another big dog. The 200-pound punter, okay? Yeah, they said Bart was 200 pounds, y'all. The hometown hero, the boy with the NFL future, and the daddy who runs pain management at the hospital. The boy who granddaddy played for the Florida Gators. That Bart, honey. And one of my queens in the comments said that cradling Katie comment meant a lot. Baby, it meant everything. Another one of my kings said, I knew it was because of Katie, because the guys didn't say anybody name besides her. Every time they said her name, they had some type of animosity. Y'all feel me? They couldn't even say her name without their face twisting up. That girl, Katie, honey, Warren said it. Warren said it, y'all. He said it with his whole chest. He said, that girl, Katie, not our friend Katie, that girl, Katie. Like she was a problem, like she was the reason. And she was. She was the reason a boy got his throat cut or his head bashed or whatever they did to him before they threw him in that damn water. And honey, and here is where these boys start slipping in their own mess. Bart came out the gate talking about, I've been in Montana for a whole year. I've been in Wyoming. Comment on Instagram, on Facebook, acting like he wasn't nowhere near Horn Island on July the 4th, acting like he didn't know what nobody was talking about until that Marine Resources Division slipped up and put his name on the Freedom of Information request. And whose name was on the missing person report to the Coast Guard? Not Warren, the boy who claimed he called at 11:45 p.m. It was Bart. Bart, y'all, called at 10:05 a.m. on July 5th. Now, why would Bart, who wasn't even close with Nolan like that, why would he be the one reporting Nolan missing? While Warren was asleep, while Warren daddy had to wake him up, and then the Ceto audio, we all heard it. Somebody yelled, "Damn it, Bart." Did y'all hear that? Press the three of y'all remember. Damn it, Bart. Clear as day, baby. Clear as day. Bart was on that boat. Bart had his own boat, but he was on that boat. He was there, and the GPS location matched Fort Bayou, Bart's family house, private deck, pool in the backyard, and they were right there, right there. And honey, my kings and queens been saying, Warren let it slip that Bart was there. Nah, baby, that audio let it slip. Bart let it slip. His own big mouth. One of my queens said it, honey. After somebody says, "Is he dead?" Somebody says, "Yup." You can hear somebody say, "Damn it, Bart." So no, Bart was on the boat. No point in playing crazy, y'all. Okay? Exactly. Exactly. No point in playing crazy. So when we got you on tape, man, we got you on tape. And then Bart want to claim he didn't been on the island in a while. Remember that? Bart is a liar, a whole liar. And one of my kings said it, honey. Bart was on his boat. Bart was on Honey, Bart was on his own boat. He came over to the other boat in which Nolan was on. But we can say the same thing for Warren too. Because remember, Warren said he went over there on somebody else's boat, which I believe is Bart. So Bart and Warren both came from their boat to Wyatt's boat, where Nolan was at Wyatt's boat. He was on Wyatt's boat. And they are saying they went over there to confront and beef with Nolan. That's why all the commotion started. Give me my phone back and all that stuff. All right. Nolan did not back down, y'all. Nolan did not back down. You see that. Nolan did not back down. And that right there made it cost him his life. And now, honey, I'm going to get to the part that really makes my stomach turn, because my kings and queens, in the comments, y'all been paying attention. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all notice that Warren said Nolan was always trying to get on the boat with us. Did y'all notice that? Press 7 if you remember when Warren said Nolan was always trying to get on the boat with us. Always trying, like Nolan wasn't invited, like he was begging to come. And then Tristan said Nolan called him twice at 11 a.m. and he didn't even answer. Didn't answer. Not I missed it. He said he didn't answer. They was dodging him. Warren said on July the 3rd, Nolan spent the night at a mutual friend's house. Then July the 4th, Warren and Wyatt woke up, got breakfast, went to the dock without Nolan. They left him. And then when Nolan finally got there around 10:30, they treated him like a damn stray dog they were tolerating. And then on the island, every boy got something to say about Nolan being with Katie. Slick comments, shaking their head. Dude, you crazy. Because they knew Bart was coming. They knew Bart was back in town. They knew Bart was 21 years old, 200 pounds, and did not play about his girl. They set that boy up. They set him up like a bowling pin. Do you hear me? And one of my kings said, that means they set him up then. Bart came on a desperate boat to fight Nolan. You damn right. You damn right. He came on a separate boat to fight Nolan. Yes. Another queen said, Nolan is always trying to get on the boat with us, as if to say they don't invite him. Also, him saying that he demanded to stay behind was a red flag. Yes, they said that Nolan demanded to stay behind was a red flag. Who would stay behind without making sure you made an arrangement with someone to ride back when you don't have your own boat? Who? Indeed, I tell you who. A boy who is upset to stay. A boy who is upset to die. Honey, they set him up. And that's what it was. A boy who was upset, set up. Shit, I twist my words. A boy who was set up to stay. And he was set up to die. Nolan was set up, y'all. Press 7 if you believe that Nolan was set up to stay and was set up to die. And then, honey, they got the nerve to say, Nolan, nobody over 21 was on the boat. They got the nerve to say, nobody over 21 was on the boat. But Bart is 21. Bart is 21 years old. So why did they lie then? So if nobody over 21 was on the boat, then Bart wasn't on the boat. Then he wasn't on a boat. But we heard him on that damn boat. We heard him. Damn it, Bart. So which one is it? Either y'all lying about Bart's age or y'all lying about him being there. And we know which one it is. Y'all lied because if Bart was there and he's 21, then Bart supplied the alcohol too. And that's another charge on Bart. That's another reason to cover this all up. And honey, my queen's been asking. They've been asking the question that breaks my heart. The Nolan Wells narrative that I'm having trouble wrapping my head around isn't that he was left there. Fine. Maybe he wanted to stay. But supposedly, there were dozens of boats there. So every boat left him there by himself. He just waved goodbye to dozens of different boats until he was the last person standing on this island by himself with no phone. He didn't have a phone. They took his phone because they did not want him to call for help, because they didn't want him recording, because they knew what was coming. And this is why the governor went in. This is why Ben Crump had to get involved, because Ocean Springs protects Ocean Springs. Trayvon said it himself. Javon said it himself. Ocean Springs gonna look out for Ocean Springs. And they looking out for Bart because he got the promising NFL career, because ESPN sponsors him, because his daddy is Bart Sr., was all SEC at Florida from 1992 to 1996, because his daddy runs the pain management at that damn hospital in Mississippi, because his grandfather was a Gator too, okay? Because his father got legacy in Mississippi, and legacy means more than a black dead boy, okay? Okay? Y'all feel that? Y'all feel what I'm about to say? Huh? One of my kings in the comments said Emmett Till 2026. And I felt that in my soul, because this is how it happens. This is how it always happens. The hometown hero, the promising future, the girl, the boy who didn't know his place. Yeah, they said Nolan didn't know his place. The friends who cover it up because they scared, because they want to be down, because that's my buddy. Warren kept saying, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, not Bart, my buddy, because he was trying to erase Bart from the damn story. But the internet do not forget. We don't forget. One of my queens said it. Internet undefeated in solving cases. You damn right. Another one said, this is a damn shame that the internet solved this case. But I'm glad we solved it. I'm glad y'all been in them comments piecing this stuff together because the police wasn't going to do it. The Coast Guard wasn't going to do it. The Marine Resources Division tried to hide the damn audio, but y'all found the picture. Y'all found the comments. Y'all found the lie. One of my kings said it, honey. You cracked the case. No, we cracked the case. Every last one of us. Ben Crump already sending, letters, subpoenas, court orders. The wrongful death suit is moving. And here's what I need y'all to understand. This ain't just about Nolan no more. This is about every time a town protects their golden boy over a black dead child. This is about every time a promising future means more than justice. And I need you to remember this feeling. Remember this rage, because we ain't stopping. We ain't letting this die. Not on my watch. Not on your watch. Nolan Wells deserves better, and we're going to make sure he gets better. Even if we gotta, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. Okay? Okay? I ain't gonna go there, y'all. I ain't gonna go there. So I do want to bring this up too. So a lot of people are speaking about this, and I want to know y'all thoughts about this. Do y'all mind? Do y'all mind? All right. So check this out. Play.
Just been revealed on social media.
Walking in the opposite direction towards my boat, and I dabbed Nolan up. I made a slick comment about something, actually about the girl that he was with. I made a slick comment to him.
So he made a slick comment about the girl Nolan was with. Now, we all know the girl Nolan was with on Horn Island was Katie, right? Introducing Katie. This is Katie. And guess who the gentleman is over there? That is Bart Edmonton. This is the same Bart whose identity was almost hidden from all of us because Warren went on to Officer Race Batum Tatum's channel and he kept saying, my buddy, this, my buddy. And we all like, who is my buddy? And one time he slipped and said Bart's name. But the buddy he was referring to was Bart, and that's Bart. So Bart and Katie were a thing? Huh? Now, for those of you all who don't know, Bart Edmonton plays football. And one thing about Mississippi, honey, I'm from Mississippi. Mississippi loves football. Anybody that plays football, especially from a small town, they are a big daggum deal. And if anything go down in a small town with a football player and he white, honey, the whole town is going to rally around to try to hide things. Is that what they're doing in the Nolan Wells case? Everybody know what happened? Maybe Bart was jealous because Nolan was with his ex-girlfriend. Maybe they were a thing at one time. Now we know Bart Edmonton Jr. plays football at the University at Wyoming. He's 22 years old and he is from Ocean Springs. Now we know Katie McCormick, she's 19 years old and she's from Ocean Springs as well. Bart was a big daggum deal. Now, although we all know that Nolan Wells was expected to go to a D1 school to play football, he wasn't at the status of Bart yet. Bart was already there. So, and not to mention, Nolan is black. Katie is white. Who do you think the friends are going to side with? Even his friend, Sebastian, whom Christine Wansley stated she didn't even know that that Sebastian was a best friend. Even he said he made a slick comment. Was the slick comment that, oh, you know, that's Bart's girl? Was Katie Bart's longtime girlfriend and he came back? Maybe that's why they were trying to keep it a secret, because something nefarious went on that boat, because Bart family has allegedly a home off the waters. It would have taken him no time to get to Ocean Springs. Maybe somebody called Bart and told him, hey, you know, Nolan is with your girl. And he got on that boat and hopped on down there to Horn Island. Or maybe just because it is a big deal to go to Horn Island for the 4th of July, everybody and their mama was on Horn Island. And he came down for the 4th from Wyoming. Matter of fact, they out of school anyway. He probably was getting ready to go back to football camp. He probably been in Horn Island, Ocean Springs the whole time anyway, rekindling with Katie. Anyway, it's one thing about social media. Social media will not be undefeated. And baby, we got internet sleuths.
I also want you guys to listen to this too. Damn, it was just right here. Gotta bring it back up.
Bart and Katie sitting in the tree. Kissing. First come love, then come marriage.
Okay, I can't take no more. Let's just get to the commentary.
Come to the motherfucking front and claim that y'all were in a relationship. Who wants to tell us that the motive, the plan, and the opportunity? This is why I say anything you say, post, send, and receive can and will be used against you in the public opinion court. Because last I checked, Warren and that faulty ass friend Trey said they clear ass and have clear ass down on a Negro House podcast and thought that.
All right.
And Trayvon, y'all, let's get into this, because we think we cracked this case wide open, but it's not just us. It's what the internet sleuths have also pieced together. You guys, we have to get into this. We believe we have motive. We believe we have location, and we believe we had what really happened. And we are going to use Warren and Trayvon's own interviews along with some thought they were deleted Facebook posts and get into this. And I think this is the real reason why they all deactivated their social media accounts, because they didn't want us to know the history. The history of what? The history that Katie was Bart's girl.
What?
Who is Bart? Bart is Bart Edmonton Jr. He is a promising NFL player. Well, he's a future NFL player. Comes from a legacy line of football players. His family, his grandfather, his dad are big dogs down in Ocean Springs. And what's more, Katie was Bart's girl, Bart Edmonton Jr., and it is unclear on whether she was still his girl. Now, let's not forget, let's put everything in order. Bart Edmonton Jr., when Warren was giving the interview, he kept saying, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. He only slipped up one time and said Bart's name. Now, the Marine Resource Division of Jackson County literally slipped up and gave out a Freedom of Information request. It actually gave us the audio, but what's more important, it gave the name of the person that reported Nolan missing to the Coast Guard. Oddly enough, that person was not Warren, the person that claimed to call the postcard at 11:45 p.m. on July 4th. It was, in fact, Bart Edmonton Jr., who called, I believe they said it's at 10:05 a.m.
Woo! As you guys can see, honey, everybody is on this. I'm going to bring in Tamala. Tamala, what are your thoughts? Talk to me. Tamala? All right.
Yes, Gigi. I'm sorry, Gigi. I'm here. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Gigi, everything that everybody and myself has been telling you on the back end is absolutely true. You know, Katie and Bart was going together. Somehow they split and they wasn't seeing each other. But I'm gonna say this to you: Warren and Wyatt are the ones that told Bart. That's why Bart came down. He wasn't supposed to come down. He was supposed to go on a vacation, but he came down because they called him and told him that Katie was messing with Nolan. Okay. I'm telling you, if you go back to the video, I told you there was a blonde-headed girl that was back there watching Nolan and the other young man, the other black man, dance. That was Katie back there watching. Okay. And I told you that the coach glimpsed over. Bart, like I told you the other night, they considered her as a Ian lover, okay? White, you know what? Trash, okay? They didn't want to see that happen. Okay, this is a boy that's going to the NFL. That father got the netty or whatever it is. So why would they want to see him look disgraced with this young lady? They felt like this was a disgrace, okay? That Nolan was with her, okay? And that, she did this to Bart. So when Nolan and him got to fighting on the bus, excuse me, not the bus, the boat. When Nolan and him got to fighting on the boat, let me just say this, Gigi. Nolan had the upper hand. That's why the rest of them, the other two, they jumped in. But and they had Nolan in a deadly headlock. That's why they popped his neck bone back there, okay? And he got hit with a blunt force trauma also, because one of them hit him, okay, while the other one had him in a neck lock. I'm telling you, Gigi, them people know there's no autopsy. And I've talked to somebody about this. No autopsy have ever been like this. Not even the ones who have been shot, unless they really, have to go deep. But for that to take out your whole throat, because they knew if I take out his throat and I take out the neck, the neck bone that's in the part of the spine, if I take it out, they won't see the actual pictures. They won't know what really happened. That medical examiner need to go to jail. She knew what she was sending to Washington. She knew she was sending no evidence to Washington. She needs to go to jail. All of them need to go to jail for covering up. They hinder a prosecution. They have done so much to this family that they all need to be arrested. Everybody involved, I don't care from young to old, they all need to be locked up and the key thrown away. Okay? Because this right here is uncalled for. This is very uncalled for. And it wasn't nothing but pure hate. They hated that this young black man, these girls wanted to talk to him. That's why I was telling you the other night, we are considered forbidding fruit to them. And back in the day, a lot of them Caucasian men would mess around with black women late at night. And men will make, and women, will tip around and mess with them late at night. But see, now it's out in the opening. But see, Mississippi still wants to be racist, okay? Mississippi still wants to be like it. Another thing, Bart says, if you go back to the boat situation, okay? The GPS show, if that's a sinking boat, and the GPS show that the boat went more than one time to land. Come on now, how's my boat sinking? And then when they asked them, where do you want the boat towed to? They said Fort somewhere. Then he changed it to Ocean Springs. See, that's why it's a whole cover up. And like I told you before, loose lips sink ships. And they have sink their own ship, coming forward, acting like they telling us whole story. Yes, Wyatt needs to be locked up. Warren needs to be locked up. And Bart needs to be locked up. Those three need to be locked up immediately. Then they need to go back and sweep the other people. Because at the end of the day, they need to be locked up as well. Parents, that Ashley Cole needs to be locked up because she was withholding evidence. Obstruction of justice. Come on, come on now, misleading. Come on now, I can tell you all that they need to be locked up for. All of them played a part in this. The ones that helped dispose of that young man's body, they need accessory to murder. They need accessory. They need to all go to jail because this type of stuff got to stop. And the only reason why that prosecutor ain't did nothing because she was hoping to get reelected. Well, sorry, lady, not today, baby. Not today. See, they know election is coming up, so they doing behind the scenes, moving a little bit sloppy. Even the FBI is moving sloppy. And that's why I told people in the past on your show, you got to hit them where it hurts at. Regardless of what you think, that wrongful death suit gonna come out and it's gonna open some doors. And I'm so glad Miss Christine Wansley has stood up and did that and fighting. Because see, they was thinking she was gonna take it laying down, but never take any type of mess like this laying down. Because at the end of the day, that's what a lot of parents have been doing. And they know that. They give them a little bit of change and say, oh, okay, your child is okay. Okay, well, your child is gone. So we're going to give them parent a little bit of. No, we ain't doing it like that. No, because this boy didn't deserve it. And they know, don't know, ain't no autopsy in the world. No autopsy in the world has ever had to take out a person's neck bone to the spine. Okay, and their throat out. The throat, because the throat would have shown there was no water intake. It would have shown that he didn't die in a pool. He didn't die where they try to say he drowned. Nolan was an athlete. He was a swimmer. So that right there, no, ma'am. I don't think a person, we know our black children. Okay, we know one thing is they're not going to get on no boat without no life jacket. Oh, no, baby, they're going to stay on land if they don't know how to swim. So at the end of the day, we know Nolan was what he was. That Warren wasn't a friend. He was a friend of me's, like Shaquilla Robinson had. Friend of me's. That's what Warren was. That's what Wyatt was. That's what all of them was. Because, see, they didn't really want Nolan around after they found out that they white girls liked it Nolan. That's why they didn't want Nolan around. Gigi, they didn't want that boy around because them girls was liking him. He was a true athlete. He was going somewhere. He may not have been headed to the NFL right now, but they know he was going somewhere. You can look at it and tell he was going somewhere. From the time that when I sent you that thing where his mother had them pictures and they did that little thing for him from the time he was a young boy, he was playing sports. It was like going from young kid on up to 18. He was doing sports. That boy was powerful. And they knew that. And they hated him because them girls are considered forbidding. They are considered forbidden. Our brothers got to wake up. Our brothers got to wake up. Yes, there are some good people out there, white people, but there's also some bad ones. Until you can weed out the ones that are good and one out the bad, you got to stay with your sisters. I don't care how bad your sisters may be. Walk alone then, but don't walk with them kind, because at the end of the day, in small places like that, this is how it's happening. If you Google how many of our children died during 4th of July on this type of stuff, don't forget Darrell Irvin, okay? Don't forget that young man. Similar type situations. Come on now. These people, they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And they hate us. Like I told you, they hate us. Because no matter what they do to us, we still rise. We still are a black nation. We are a royal priesthood. Come on now. We're not African Americans. We're Black Americans. Because if we're African Americans, the African American people will accept us. We're Black Americans, but we are chosen. We are chosen. I sit in the hospital today talking to a young fella, a Black American, and me and him had the longest talk. And when I told him, he said, no, that's not the case with Nolan Wells. He said, no, the autopsies don't work like it. And he's a surgeon, so he should know. He said, it don't work like it. He said, I found that very odd. He said, even my staff, even people at the hospital, they was talking about it. They found that very odd when a person take a throat and your whole neck, from your neck thing that holds your neck up there, and all the way down to almost your spine. Just take that. Come on now, Gigi. They know what they did to cover it up, to try to protect those boys. And guess what? Parents was involved too. They had parents involved because ain't no child gonna be able to do all that carving and do all that to a young man's body. That's why his body was face down. They didn't want nobody to see exactly what happened to his body. And it's low down and it's dirty. And they're going to get everything they got coming to them. Like I said, Mississippi is calm now, baby. But guess what? The storm is coming from Mississippi. You might look up one morning and you hear on the news, there's no Mississippi. But when you do, don't fret. Don't get upset. Don't cry for Mississippi. Cry for all those who have lost their life to hatred. To hatred. Because a person that is another race, a Black American, they have killed, steal, destroyed, raped, did all kinds of things. And God is tired of Mississippi. Mississippi, like I keep trying to tell you, I be telling you on the back end, they know what they did, and it was a too much cover up. And like I told you, sometimes you got to sit back because loose lips sink ships. That's a proven fact, baby. And all of them, guess what they doing? Popping out. Deleted their Snapchat, did everything to try to cover this situation up. But guess what? God was unfolding it all because he didn't want it covered up. He wanted the white American people to see just how evil and demonic your people are. And you think that what they do is okay? It's not okay. And if you go along with it, God got something for them too. He got
All
something for
right.
them too.
Well, Tamala, you didn't you shut it down. All right, y'all. That's all we got for you guys today. Feel free next time to hit that link because we want to hear from you. And we out.
Amen.